Welcome, everyone, to the home of the Phoenix here at Farmington High School in Farmington, Utah, on this wonderful Friday night for fourth week action of Utah high school football here on the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. I'm Nate Thatcher alongside my broadcast partner, Trevor Allen. And Trevor, before we begin this game and get into our keys of tonight's contest, it would be remiss if we didn't tribute one of the pioneers in high school sports broadcasting and really in the world of high school sports here in the state of Utah. We lost a really good one in Dusty Lister this last week after his brave fight with cancer. And Trevor, as one of the few people who not only could call him a coworker but a friend, I mean, just talk about what this week has been like, not only for you but for the entire sports community.
It was really hard. I'm gonna be honest with you. Getting that call on Wednesday, that his battle with cancer had ended. I had just seen him at the state championships for basketball at the Huntsman Center. And, I know how important it was for him to call those games, and for that to be his last calls was, something amazing. But it was really hard because he's done so much in the last 20 years for this state as far as shining a spotlight on student athletes at the high school level. No one had really done it to the level that he had done it. He was kind of the pioneer of bringing the coverage in and then starting a whole network to where I'm sure he's called games in almost every school, at least along the Wasatch Front and maybe across the whole state. But it's because of how much support he's had from coaches and all the relationships he's had with coaches and players, and seeing it on Instagram and Twitter and all that, to where they're just really appreciative, saying, hey, he ended up calling my games and things like that, just for what he's been able to do. And for him to be gone so young, it's hard to swallow, because he has a wonderful, sweet wife, Megan, who's hurting. He has 4 kids who now don't have their dad, but not only that, he's also got the family here at KSL Sports and on the Rewind Sports Network, who tonight it's hard because he hasn't been calling games, but we all know that he was fighting his own battle, and he didn't give up. I even saw him up at the Huntsman Center, and just him. His spirits were high. He was really excited to be there calling the games. You could tell he was going through a battle and that it was really taking a toll on his body, but he never wavered at all. And so I credit him from that, and obviously thoughts and prayers to his wife, Megan, to his 4 kids, and also to the entire Rewind Sports family. Thoughts and prayers. And
we saw not only the impact on social media and TV throughout this entire week, but even just before tonight's contest here between the Phoenix and the Cavemen, where they held a moment of silence here inside the stadium about 20 minutes before kickoff. I mean, you really see just how personal and how deep his impact went here in the state of Utah.
He really has. I mean, you end up talking to anybody. Like, I've actually got the KSL Sports shirt on, and I do that whenever I go out and call games, and people are always coming up to me asking me how he was doing, and, hey, I love Dusty. He's awesome. Thank you for your guys' coverage and all that. He started that. But he was actually, the voice for it for 20 years, but he never made it about him. He always made it about the athlete, and it showed because of all of the unwavering support. And really, the state of Utah at the high school level is hurting, as well as the Rewind Sports Network family and his family as well.
Well, let's get into some football, and of course, this will be in honor of Dusty Lister tonight, one of the greats here at KSL Sports. And let's start with the home team, Farmington Phoenix. They just came home from the mini dome at Idaho State with a win against Mountain View last week, but it took them 4 quarters and overtime to get the winning just 10 points, thanks to a field goal from Jackson Bainin to seal the deal. And we're going to see them start with the ball here tonight. What do you think it'll take offensively from Farmington to get this upset, and what would be the biggest win of Coach David Fiafia's early coaching career, obviously his first season here?
Really, what you got to do, you got to find out who your quarterback is. Right now, they're going with 2 guys. They're going with Alton Dahl, the junior, and also Will Peterson, who was the starter last year. He's in his senior year, but he's struggling right now, so Dahl's been kind of coming in and giving them a spark. But really, you've got to have more production in the pass game. You've got to be able to score touchdowns, because scoring 37 points against Roy, that was good, but only scoring 3 in the loss to Bountiful, and then only scoring 10 against Mountain View up at Idaho State, that isn't going to cut it. But also credit to the Farmington defense.
Meanwhile, for American Fork, the Cavemen were picked to finish last in Region 3 in the preseason. But right now, they're looking anything but last as our 4th-ranked team in Utah here at the Rewind Sports Network. as they get ready for their second straight away game of a 3 road game series. American Fork's looking strong thanks to senior running back Prince Offu, who's averaging over 110 yards a game. Trevor, what do the Cavemen need to do tonight to get out of here with an unblemished record at 4-0?
Really, of what you got to try and do is start to balance it out a little bit. Obviously, teams have got film on Prince Offu now to really try and shut him down, load up the box. So trying to get more production out of your pass game.
So the Phoenix will start with the ball, and here they come on the return. And some room is made for Fia. And it looks like he'll be out to about the 21-yard line. So that's how we'll start tonight here in Farmington. We've got a good one here tonight. As mentioned, the Phoenix are coached by first-year head coach David Fia. Meanwhile, for the Cavemen, it's the exact opposite. It's experience that they bring to the table. In 16th-year head coach Aaron Bem, who's looking for his 111th win tonight here with the Cavemen. And to start out, it will be Alton Dahl at quarterback. So just like you mentioned, provided a spark last week, he's going to start here tonight.
Looks like they're changing the play at the line of scrimmage.
It'll be shotgun. Here's Dahl. It's going to be a handoff. It's Love up the right side, and he'll be dragged down maybe as he hits the line of scrimmage for a short gain of 1.
Drew Love has coming in. He's got a lot of confidence right now, playing some really good football, running it well, kind of like Prince Offu on the other side for American Fork on the year. 39 carries, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns. He ran the ball 15 times and only had 37 yards last week against Mountain View, but that was a really good defense they went against.
According to Max Preps, Love, a top 10 running back in the 6A division here in the 801. Here's Dahl, single back. He's going to hand it off once again to Love. He's got some room, but we got flags in the backfield after a gain of about 3.
Trench play is going to be huge because American Fork has some studs on defense, primarily on that defensive line. And so the offensive line for Farmington is going to have their hands full.
And a holding call will go against the offense. Something you don't want to see, especially when you're trying to get a big upset. Those early penalties can really cost momentum.
Yeah, I mean, you're starting to run it a little bit, and then as you're gaining a lot of momentum, you end up having a 10-yard penalty. It really just deflates the offense. So especially at this level, you're going to have to kind of push through that and really try to eliminate some of those costly mistakes.
It'll be 2nd and 19. And Bob will be back at the 13-yard line. Same formation as the last play. Here's Dahl. This time we play action. He's looking to go deep. He's got time now. He's going to roll out to the right on the run, and he's got a receiver out there, but it soars over the hands of Tanner Nielsen, the captain senior wide receiver.
Tanner Nielsen had it. It was just a little bit too high. Alton Dahl trying to throw it on the run. I mean, some guys even in the National Football League can't even make that throw. It's a tough throw to make, but it was definitely a good effort there.
So that'll set up a 3rd and long as the Cavemen sub in a couple new defenders for the outside receivers. So 11:06 here to go in this first quarter. And a reminder, our clock will be unofficial here on the Rewind Sports Network, but we'll try and keep it as close as possible. Here's Dahl on 3rd down. He's pressured. Somehow squeezes through the defense, but he's not going to get anything as he slides down.
Yeah,
and we've got a flag. It's going to be a late hit.
I was waiting for that to come in. The contact came after he had already slid on the ground. It's one of those plays on defense. You're just like, okay, he's down. I get it. Your job is to go after the ball, and it's just a really costly mistake. Not anything dirty. Just he just had his timing off.
Yeah, we just mentioned that penalties can be costly for an offense trying to get an upset, but just right there, you did everything right on that first possession. And you end up costing yourself on 3rd down. You had him at 3rd and 19, and that really can make big dividends for Farmington to keep this ball moving.
Yeah, and now it's going to move them up to – it should move them up to within 3rd and 4, I believe. So that's very manageable where you had them almost 3rd and a mile.
So far in 2025, Farmington has averaged less than 150 passing yards per game as we now get the call from the ref. It is going to be a personal foul. Oh, and they're actually going to say it's on both sides, so it's going to offset. It will be 4th down. So actually, that will be a change. So we thought originally it was only going to be against the visiting team Cavemen, but both sides now.
I actually think it was on both. I think it was 2 penalties, 1 on each side.
Right, so it's going to be a 4th down punt, as it'll be booted away by Jackson Baden, who did hit that game-winning field goal, as we mentioned in pregame last week in Idaho. Back to receive, it looks to be Wilkinson for the Cavemen. So punting from the beginning of his own end zone is Bainan. We've got another flag, so lots of yellow here early on. Wilkinson's going to call it. Really nice bounce for the Phoenix, and it still continues to roll, and it'll stop at about the 36-yard line of American Fork.
You hate to see a lot of laundry here, Nate, but, you know, the officials have a job to do too.
And they're doing it early and often. Let's see what this call is from the field. Looks like it's going to be against Farmington from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, looks like it.
And I think they're going to want to redo this punt again. They're going to want to accept it. So not only will they be punting after a false start from the beginning of their end zone, Bainan might be punting this from towards the back.
Yeah, it actually looks like American Fork is wanting them to redo it, maybe try to get some better field position, especially moving 5 yards back. Or I think that might be half the distance because they're pinned so far back.
So they will now snap the ball from the 7-yard line, and yeah, there's Bainan. He's at the tip of the Phoenix type in his own end zone. So Wilkinson once again back to return it, and it looks like the Cavemen, as of right now in their formation, are looking to send the entire unit to try and block this thing.
Yeah, you want to do that. You want to try and get a safety or even, you know, a touchdown potentially.
Here comes the snap, and now they will back off. A little bit of an Australian-style punt there. Wilkinson's got it on the short kick, and he trips his way up towards the 42-yard line. So really good starting field position for the Cavemen as they get ready to come out onto the field.
That punt made me think of my guy Tom Hackett, former University of Utah punter, worked over at KSL Sports with me the last few years. Love that guy. And another flag. Or maybe it came out of his pocket. I was going to say another one already.
Here comes Capono Manuela, the senior quarterback, alongside this Cavemen offense to get things going in. Very good field position here in the first quarter.
The way they actually do quarterbacks here is every 2 drives they will switch out.
He's going to hand it off up the middle, and a nice run that time by Prince Afu, the running back we mentioned in pregame, as he gets a gain of about 5 yards.
If I'm American Fork, you just want to establish the run game early. You know you have one of the best running backs in the entire state in Prince Afu. But then now of what else you want to do is try to keep the defense honest by being able to be productive in your passing game.
Looks like we have an injury on the field for Farmington. We'll take a timeout with him. 0-0 so far here in the first quarter between the Phoenix and the Cavemen. Welcome back to Farmington High School, as it was Grant Preston who just went down for the Phoenix. Tough look for the junior linebacker who's tied to be the leading tackler right now for Farmington. It's going to be another run by Afu, but no gain this time. It'll set up about a 3rd and 6.
Yeah, losing Grant Preston potentially for the game and maybe longer. I mean, you never want to speculate, but has 24 tackles on the season. He had 8 last week. Very, very productive linebacker.
Currently tied with Kava Fiafia, the two-way player. And so that is a huge blow so far to the home squad, but so far holding the Cavemen right now to a 3rd and 6.
The one thing that Farmington has got to keep an eye on with Manuela at quarterback, he can run it. He's a very athletic quarterback.
Manuela in the shotgun. Afu to his right. He gets the snap. Looking to go. He's pressured. He's going to roll out to his left. He's got a receiver. It's caught for a first down. Nice adjustment that time by his receiver in Cash Taisi.
Cash Taisi, only a sophomore, and he is cash money. And just being able to come back, read his quarterback, find that open window, the communication spot on, and able to pick up a first down.
So both of these defensive fronts able to get a little bit of up-front advantage, but both quarterbacks also able to get around outside. Dull for Farmington, not able to connect, but that time it's all Manuela. And this time he's going to hand back off to Afu, who gets another nice gain and puts his body forward as he gains another 5 on first down.
It would look as if like Prince Afu is more of one of those power backs who could just pick up 4 yards in, a cloud of dust, but really he has another speed to it where he can kick it on and he can move.
So really good start right now for American Fork as they're now driving currently at the Phoenix 25-yard line with under 9 minutes to go here in the opening period. Manuela's got it in the backfield. He's going to be looking to pass. Goes to his check down option. It's actually going to be his receiver and Dyson Richards. And Richards able to get close to a first down. Let's see where they mark it. Looks like he might be just a hair short.
Brought down by Runyon and Pia.
Yeah, just trying to get to those sticks, but a good job by the outside corner for Farmington to recognize that and to wrap up and tackle to pick up or to force a third down.
So third and a short one for American Fork. Manuela's still going to be in shotgun. Afu's going to be behind him to his left. He's got two receivers to his right. It'll be a handoff. Up the gut. Afu's got it and more. Dragging 6 defenders with him as he gets a first down to the 13-yard line.
Yeah, it only took 6 guys to take him down. That's all. I mean, honestly, what a run for Prince Afu. Just really picking up from where he left off last week. He had to put in a lot of work, especially in that second half last week, in their big win at West.
Currently listed at 5'11", 190 in our sheets. He's looking anything but that here early on.
He's not 190. There's no way.
He can't be.
There's no way.
So Manuela's going to be all alone in the backfield. 3 receivers to his left, 2 to his right. Looking to pass. Got lots of time. Now he's going to roll out to his right. Manuela looking for his receiver. Now he's going to take it himself. Dashing to the 10, and he'll be taken down around the 7-yard line after a QB keeper.
Difference between him and Childs. Childs can run that, but Capono makes that look a lot easier, and he's a really more athletic quarterback who's a true dual threat, and just didn't have anything there, and then was just trying to turn nothing into something.
So far, a balanced attack for the Cavemen. Now they face a 2nd and goal from the 8-yard line. Trevor, if you're the offensive coordinator right here, would you be looking to pass or run?
I would maybe think about doing a little bit of a play action, but since Prince Afu is not in the backfield with you.
Instead, it's going to be Madden Jensen, the senior running back. He's going to go up the gut. Maybe gains about 3 or 4, but that actually will give them a first down and goal. Excuse me, that actually sets that up.
Yeah.
I could be mistaken. That could be 3rd and goal.
I believe the first down marker's at the 4 or the 3. They're like right there. They are able to get a first down before having to get into the end zone.
So now Afu back in the game. It's going to be shotgun for Manuela, and now he's going to get a new call from the sideline to check.
You might want to maybe do like a bootleg here, maybe some kind of play action to try and keep the defense honest.
Lots of time taken off the clock. It's going to be a pass. It's deep, and it is caught in the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Cash Taisi.
What great focus by Cash Taisi. Just right on the money. Even though a corner was right on him, was still able to keep his focus on just getting the ball and getting to the ground without letting loose of that football. What a play by that sophomore Cash Taisi.
The team leader in reception yards per game now leads the team tonight in touchdowns as the Cavemen strike first on the board with 6. Now to attempt the PAT. It's up and in for Luna. And American Fork now leads it 7-0 with just about 5.5 minutes remaining here in the first on the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. Welcome back out to Farmington High School as the Phoenix currently trail the Cavemen after a very impressive drive led by Capono Manuela, which ended in a Cash Taisi touchdown in the back of the end zone to put them up early 7. So we saw a quick 3-and-out for Dahl and company for Farmington. Trevor, what would you like to see them improve on here on this second drive?
Just you got to find ways to get the ball out to your playmakers. I know a guy to go to for Farmington is Kava Fia. He's a guy who he's really been one of their only weapons on the outside, being able to, he has 7 catches for 124 yards, 2 touchdowns. The next guy has 79 yards in Chase Hamlin. You have playmakers, you just got to get them involved and keep moving the sticks.
So Alton Dahl leads the offense back out again. He'll be in the backfield next to Drew Love, the senior running back who got a lot of touches on that first possession. Just couldn't get a first down conversion as we now have a substitution. And Looks like
wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, Easton Hunt, the captain, had to come to the sidelines for the play.
Wardrobe police came out.
It'll be Austin Johnson in his place on this snap.
It's something that the officials are really focusing on is wardrobe, making sure that they're wearing proper attire, which I got thoughts on that. I don't think I should share them on air.
Sounds good with me. Lead official comes back out onto the field after a talk with Coach Fiafia, and they will now let play resume. And here we go. 1st and 10, ball on their own 20. Here's Dahl in the backfield. He'll get the snap. He's going to hand off to Love. Love's got some blocks. A nice solid run, and he keeps his feet churning, still going. Gets it out to about the 33-yard line for a nice gain of 12 and a first down.
You learn this when you're really young, at a young age, as a running back, keep the ball high and tight. He did that because American Fork was trying to pull that loose. Number 29, that is Lincoln Miller, was trying to rip that ball out, but good job by Drew Love keeping that high and tight.
Similar formation as last time. One running back in the backfield, 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Dahl's going to get it. Quick outlet pass, and a nice tackle on the outside as Chase Hamblin was the receiver, and a good tackle by Derek Manning, the senior corner.
You can already tell the Farmington coach is yelling at one of his players. I won't call him out just because that's not very nice, but he definitely missed the block on that screen pass.
That will set up a 2nd and 11 on their own 31. After a nice run by Drew Love, a stall for a loss of 1 on the last play. Love will now set up behind Dahl. Now a motion by Burton. 3 receivers to his right now. Dahl's going to fake it. Quick pass back out to Hamblin. Missed tackle by Manning this time. Hamblin's able to get it out to the 41-yard line.
Good job shedding a tackle once again and just being able to get upfield. And as I was saying prior to the drive, just keep on trying to move the sticks. You're somewhat ahead of schedule now to be able to keep on moving the sticks. I mean, 3rd and manageable.
They're going to say he's actually out at the 39, so it's going to be a 3rd and 3. Here's Dahl once again trying to get their 2nd 3rd down conversion of the drive. Hand off to Love, and he's wrapped up in the backfield. Great job that time by the stifling American Fork defense. Led that time by Dallin Afu, the junior lineman.
Dallin Afu having a great season, as is Manitua Fano having a good year as well. That is a stout defensive front for American Fork, and stopping a really good running back in Drew Love.
So the Cavemen have a chance to put another score on the board here in the first as we're now under 4. Baden set to punt, and Wilkinson once again set to return. A lot better field position for Bain in this go-around, and he gets a nice boot out of it. Wow, what a deep punt. Here's Wilkinson. He's going to move, cut up the field. Gets away from some tacklers, and a nice return out to the 37-yard line to set up American Fork once again. And as what we've heard, American Fork does like to switch up quarterbacks every now and then. Let's see who's going to be leading out the Cavemen this time around.
It looks like they are going to go to Nate Childs after 2 drives by Capono. Oh, no, they're coming out with Manuela again.
So Manuela just led a very impressive drive that went about 45 yards into the end zone. It ended with a Cash Taisi touchdown, but always impressive is Afu in the backfield, and he was able to break down some tackles to get them down and drain a lot of time off the clock. So here they are, 1st and 10. It's going to be a handoff to Afu. He goes right up the gut, once again just shedding guys in black, and he gets it up to about the 48-yard line, gain of 11 and a first down.
It's so hard to bring him down, but also it's hard to catch him too at times. If he can get out into open space, he's going to be hard to bring down. If he goes up the middle, it takes 3 or 4 defenders to take him down as well. Just a monster of a running back.
Very balanced attack last time. American Fork allowing the run to set up their pass play so far here in the first quarter. 1st and 10 now, ball at their own 48, averaging over 185 rush yards per game in comparison to their 157 pass yards. But it is going to be a pass this time in double coverage, and it is caught once again by Cash Taisi on the sideline.
living up to his name once again. Cash Taisi is money, almost double coverage, but still he had a guy swarmed all over him. And again, the focus is just there, which is really impressive from a sophomore.
Long gain that time will now set them up for a 1st and 10 at the Farmington 26. So just as we were mentioning the strength of the run, we saw a very impressive pass play by American Fork.
I was saying that top of the broadcast, if they could get the run game going to then open up the defense a little bit, keep them honest, play action pass, it's working.
Motion by Hanshaw will set up an Afu run to the left. He's going to weave his way past defenders again and is going to be close once again to another 1st down. Just going to be a little bit short. It'll set up a 2nd and 1.
And again, staying ahead of schedule now, 2nd and 1. The playbook is wide open for this American Fork offense.
A reminder, our clock is unofficial here on the Rewind Sports Network. We'll try and keep it as close as we can as possible. 2nd and 1 is now Capone's going to look to the sideline to get the call. Prince Afu has been very impressive, living up to his average of 111 rush yards per game so far here in Game 4. It'll be a handoff up the gut once again to Prince. And a nice wrap-up that time, but he does get the 1st down to the 15. Great tackle from Emmett Bowcut.
Seeing I would do it if I'm Farmington, and again, I'm no expert, but I would load up the box and force them to throw the ball, but maybe bracket Cash Taisi as well, because right now those are the only 2 guys truly making plays on offense for American Fork.
So 1st and 10, ball at the 15-yard line. Here's Manuela. He's going to fake it. He's going to roll out to his right. Heavily pursued, but he's going towards the end zone. It's tipped and almost intercepted that time by the Phoenix defense. Great job that time by Farmington to break up the pass in the end zone.
That is number 84, Ty Runyon, who had a chance to pick that off. There were actually 3 Farmington players in the end zone and just threw it a little bit behind him. But again, throwing it on the run, not a lot of quarterbacks can make really accurate throws on the run, but still a really athletic play, just couldn't haul it in.
Especially in more dense coverage, the closer you get towards the end zone, the harder it is to find open receivers.
Yeah, it closes it in a little bit, and it kind of just seems like it's really close quarters.
So now 3 men in the backfield. It'll be Afu to the right of Manuela alongside Dyson Richards. Manuela looking to pass again, and this time he's going to be brought down to the backfield. Great 3-man sack that time by Farmington, and it looks like they were led by Troy Stevens, the senior defensive end.
Troy Stevens is one of their main playmakers on defense, just being able to get around the edge. 3 guys were able to get past the offensive line for American Fork, but just not a lot of time for Capono to make a play.
That'll set up a long 3rd down, 3rd and 15, as the USA-themed home student section gets riled up to try and mess up the boys in white. Manuela looking to pass. He's going to go on a quick slant right out to Taisi. Was that caught? It was. It's going to be short, but another impressive catch by Cash as he makes it out to the 11-yard line.
Notice they were in man coverage, and a really hard play to be able to defend as a corner is a slant route on the inside, and that was exactly what he did. Threw it right on the money and was able to just pick up yards to have a more manageable field goal.
So that will set up the field goal try, but it looks like there's some confusion between
maybe there's a trickeration.
Owen Gardner on the sideline looking for a call. Let's see if they have time to get it off before the clock expires. About a 29-yarder. The kick is up, and it is through as we end the first quarter. Nice kick to end the first period by Jace Worthington, and that will do it as American Fork leads it by 2 possessions, 10-0, as we get ready for second quarter action here on the Rewind Sports Network. Welcome back out to Farmington High School as the home team Phoenix currently trail the American Fork Cavemen 10-0. Nate Thatcher alongside Trevor Allen. And Trevor, we have American Fork ranked number 4 right now per our rankings, and they're looking all the parts so far, especially with their balanced offensive attack here in this first period.
Yeah, and also just the whole fact that American Fork was picked to finish last in Region 3, but also mention that every single team in Region 3 is in the top 10 in the rankings. So that is a gauntlet of a region, but American Fork, I think, making a statement last week against West on the road against a team who is going to contend for 5A, and then now to come up here to Farmington and, play as well as they are on both ends, it's really proven itself right now.
Cavemen will kick it off here for the start of this second quarter, and the Phoenix will allow it to go back in the end zone. Trevor, you mentioned the difficulty of Region 3 and 6A, but American Fork has also challenged themselves in non-region play. They just finished 10th U in Week 2. Obviously playing at Farmington today. They'll play Davis at home on the 19th, so they're making it a challenge for themselves from beginning to end.
Yeah, I know coaches out there, especially if you've actually got a really good program, you want to schedule really hard teams in your non-region because you don't have a ton of region games in a region like 3. And so, kudos to them to go after, 10th U, to go after West, to go after Davis.
So Phoenix will start from their own 20. Dahl in the backfield. He's going to motion. Isaac York moving left to right. Dahl will get the snap. He's going to look to pass, and he's pressured. Oh, and what a sack that time! And an absolute monster comes into the backfield. Great sack that time by who else but Dallin Afu, who made one earlier in the first.
Dallin Afu just obliterated that offensive lineman for Farmington, and Dahl had no idea what to do, because the minute he came into the pocket, went over to his read right there, saw a giant monster come right at him, and could only just tuck it in.
I got scared, and I'm up in the booth.
Exactly.
So 2nd and 18 now from their own 12, and Farmington losing all momentum here in this first half. Can they come up with something big? Here's Love up the gut, and he'll be taken back behind the line. American Fork playing some stout defense here in the first half.
Dallin Afu getting off the edge once again. He looks like a big boy, but he's got some quick feet as well, and just an absolute monster, but also just clogging it up with this defensive line. Again, Fano, the junior defensive lineman, is in on that, and he's just clogging up lanes.
So now a 3rd and 17 from their own 13-yard line, and the boys in black are quickly fading away. Here's Dahl looking to pass. He's got time. Now he's going to go with this check down in Love, and Love's going to be taken down at the 16-yard line, so not what you want to see if you're a Phoenix fan. And American Fork taking care of business so far here on defense.
Yeah, Dahl dropping back, going through his reads, and just couldn't really find anything there, so threw it out to the flat to Drew Love, and just tried to turn nothing into something, and just came up short.
We mentioned that American Fork was coming up with a tough schedule before their region play begins, but Farmington, they play American Fork today. They played Bountiful. They went to Idaho last week. They'll go on the road against Lone Peak next week before they start region play. So both these teams are facing some very early tests, as the punt by Farmington will go out to the Cavemen 48.
It'll also be interesting to see, as you mentioned, they're going over to Lone Peak next week. The Knights are in Vegas taking on Bishop Gorman tonight. Could be coming back a little banged up, playing the number 3 team in the entire country.
Lone Peak, another Region 3 6A favorite. And those teams really like to schedule, especially some of the elite teams out of state. We've seen Corner Canyon do it, obviously, as the team's the state's premier team. But
you've got Corner Canyon tonight is hosting Liberty out of Arizona, number 1 team down there in Arizona. And then obviously Lone Peak is going to Bishop Gorman tonight, number 1 team in Nevada.
So as we mentioned, it will be a difference in quarterback sometimes, as Nate Childs is now out for the Cavemen. It's going to be a handoff to Jensen, who's able to push his lineman out to the 50-yard line for a gain of 2.
A great push right there by the offensive line, just to be able to create a little bit of a gap for Jensen to be able to attack, and staying a little bit ahead of schedule. Probably want to get a little bit farther on first down, but still manageable as you just try to stay ahead of schedule in order to pick up a first down.
Nate Childs in at quarterback, 2nd and 8. Jensen to his left, 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Nate looking to pass, and he's going to go deep. It's a one-on-one, and it is incomplete that time. A good defensive coverage on the far side made that time by Ty Runyon, the junior corner.
a really good stop right there for Farmington. Got to be able to put a few of those together against a very potent offense.
So an early test here for Childs as it sets up a 3rd and 8. Something we didn't see a lot of with Capoto in a QB. Manuela able to convert. What can Childs do here at midfield? He gets the snap. He's going to roll out to his right in a designed action, and now he's going to keep it to the 45. Dives for the first down markage. Let's see where they mark him out. And it looks like they're going to have him out about 3 yards short of the first down. So what is American Fork going to do right here?
I mean, you're really in a no man's land as far as, punting or anything like that. You just want to, because, I mean, are you going to try and pin them? But really, you end up turning it over on downs. It's still, it's still pinning them back, not like quarter to the 20, but if I was American Fork, I'd go for it. I would have trust in my offense to be able to pick up the first down.
So they're going to do a reset of the chains here.
Yeah, it got a little tied up when Childs went out of bounds. And by the way, Childs can run. He just doesn't look athletic, but he's sneaky athletic.
So it will be a 4th and long 2. As Childs looks to get the call from the sideline, he's going to be sandwiched on both sides. We saw this formation on the last drive, as it's going to be Dyson Richards on his right and Prince Afu on his left. Wouldn't be surprised if they take this up the middle. They do. It's Afu. He's moving his way forward and somehow gets a first down, able to use his body. Great move that time by Prince Afu to convert.
Had 2 chances to be able to bring Prince Afu down, and he's just shedding tackles left and right and able to pick up a first down, and really just a very simple run. Obviously, it wasn't a simple run, but he made it look simple.
One of the stats we need to keep a track of is how many missed tackles Prince Afu has been a part of so far this season. Very impressive to see how he's able to evade here in tonight's game. So Childs and company with another first down. Now it will be Prince in the backfield alongside him. It's going to be a handoff to number 10. He's going to weave his way through. It looks like we might have a holding call up front as Afu gains 7 on the play.
Getting a little handsy in the trenches.
We did see a lot of flags early on in that first quarter, but we haven't seen one for a while until now. And like we mentioned, it can be a momentum killer. It seems like once the Cavemen really started to get going with scoring, the momentum has been with their side completely, and we have something like that could change the table.
Thing is, as an offensive lineman for American Fork, knowing you have a running back like Prince Afu in the backfield running the ball, you really don't need to hold, because he's going to be able to pick up yards on his own as well. Obviously, do your job, but you don't need to keep a hold of that jersey.
I'll set up a 1st and 20 now as they go back to the 50-yard line at midfield. Childs in the backfield, Afu to his right, 2 receivers on both sides. Childs looking to pass. He's going to go with a quick pass out to the outside. David Dean with his first catch of the evening. Another flag out as Dean makes it out to the 39.
It might be. I wasn't looking over there, but was there any contact on Childs after the play, or after he made the throw?
Let's see what they call here.
Oh, chop block.
And they're going to go once again against the offense. So American Fork right now shooting themselves in the foot. They've been able to set up some good plays, but now they're going back to basically where they started this drive.
Yeah, it's very deflating, especially when you really had a lot of momentum until that sack on that last drive, to where you end up having to settle for a field goal, and then now you've got back-to-back penalties that is just sending you all the way back to 1st and 35.
So this will actually set them back way before where they actually began their drive. So negative yardage right now on this drive led by Nate Childs and company, thanks to a couple of flags on the offensive line. Here's Childs once again, back to pass. Got lots of time. He's going to go on his medium route. It's caught for a nice gain out to the Farmington 40. Great catch that time by Christian Hanshaw, the junior tight end.
It's really good to have a guy like Nate Childs in at quarterback, because he's got a big workload in that first quarter and said, you know what, I want in on the action as well. What a catch.
And American Fork on the move right now after they had a 1st and 35. just 2 plays ago. Cavemen looking very impressive to continue their 2025 campaign. Only scored 18 points in their last win against West, but they're looking to just about match that here with this drive as a run up the gut. Gains a couple. Luke Broadbent that time on the carry.
Luke's a guy who, if you want a few yards, I mean, he was able to score a rushing touchdown against West last week, but he's just one of those guys, if you just got to pick up a couple of yards, you're going to go to that guy.
2nd and 7 for American Fork. And the Cavemen really taking their time on these drives, controlling the clock and the tempo here on the road. As we mentioned, this will be the second game of their 3-game road series. So they're currently in the middle of lots of travel, but right now they're traveling down the field. Here's Childs with a handoff. Broadbent once again, he's going to move his way down to the 5, and it looks like he's going to get himself a first down and goal.
Knocking on the door again, going into the red zone. They were only able to pick up a field goal last drive, see if they can get into the end zone this time to make it a potentially a 17-point lead.
So 1st and goal, 5 yards to go now for American Fork, and they have just been draining the clock on this drive. Broadbent's going to stay in the game. We've seen 3 different carries so far at running back on this possession. 2 receivers to the left. David Dean, impressive in the slot. Broadbent's going to take it. He's going to weave past some tacklers, but a great tackle in the backfield that time by the Farmington defense. Led that time in the backfield by Easton Hunt.
Easton Hunt, great pursuit for a defensive lineman, just catching Broadbent right as he ends up getting the ball on that carry, had nowhere to go.
We mentioned Hunt in the first quarter had a little bit of a uniform conundrum, but he was all on point right there on the tackle in the backfield. Timeout will be taken by Farmington. We'll take it with them as they currently trail the Cavemen 10-0 here with 4:45 left here in the second quarter. Welcome back out to Farmington High School after a timeout by the Phoenix. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 7 for American Fork on this possession led by Nate Childs. And Trevor, we're seeing a lot of action around the valley. What can you tell us about some scores going around town?
Yeah, right now Corner Canyon's got a 7-point lead over Liberty in Arizona, number 1 team in Arizona, 14-7. And Davis is running away from Alta right now. It's 34-3, pending a PAT.
It'll be a keeper by Childs. He's going to dive, and he'll be down at the 2. Took a hard hit right there, and he's slow to get up.
Yeah, that looked like that hurt. I was feeling that up here, but seems to be okay.
And he's going to stay in the game. A little bit ginger bending down, but he's going to stay here on 3rd and goal from the 2. Put his body on the line that time. So now he's going to be under center. He's got what looks to be 3 offensive line behind him. This might be a tush push here. No, it's going to be a handoff up the gut. It's Prince Afu into the end zone for another touchdown for American Fork. And they dominate now here in this first half, now leading at 16-0.
Coming into this game, I was wondering of how both trench plays would hold up. And right now the offensive line is making Prince Afu's life very easy right now.
First touchdown for Prince Afu. A top 15 running back in the state, no doubt, per Max Preps metrics.
He had 158 yards on 23 carries along with a touchdown last week against West. And that West defense is no slouch.
So here comes the PAT. It's up and in. And American Fork commands Farmington right now with 17-0. With 4:01 left to go here in this first half, the Phoenix have to come up with something quick if they want to stay with this one here in the second half on the Rewind Sports Network. Welcome back out to Farmington as the Phoenix look to get something on the board here before the first half ends. As the Phoenix have been struggling with Dahl in the backfield, we mentioned a lack of offensive firepower in their last 2 games. Their last game in which they did win in Idaho, they only scored 10 points. It was a 7-7 game going into overtime. So, Trevor, what can Farmington do right here? You have 4 minutes left in the first half. I mean, how much would a score mean here for the rest of the game?
It would would give them a boost, especially with 4 minutes to go. And I think Farmington is going to be on defense to start the second half. So you don't want to give American Fork any kind of momentum going into halftime. You want to swing that your way, and it starts right here on first down.
So here's Dahl in the backfield looking to pass. Got lots of time, and so he's going to go deep. He's got a man wide open. Oh, and it's almost intercepted as Corbin Bowerly comes to almost intercept it at the 45-yard line.
Corbin Bowerly just making a play, and a really great play as Isaac York. He had a chance to potentially come back and get that ball, but Bowerly came in like a wrecking ball, and it was perfect timing as well because he could have easily gotten a pass interference call. Great play by Bowerly.
That'll set up a 2nd and 10. Could have been a major offensive start here for the Phoenix. Now turns into nothing. Here's Dahl, back to pass once again. He's got loads of time, very different than the last 2 possessions. He's going to take it and run, weaves his way out to the 25 for a gain of 5. It'll set up a 3rd and short.
Just trying to muster up some kind of offense right now. American Fork, not really known for their defense early on in the year, but because as you look at their numbers, as I pull them up here, on defense, yeah, they are allowing 13.3 points per game, but 264 passing yards per game. That's quite a bit, but and really American Fork is known for their offense, but defense is coming out and playing lights out. Early
motion now to a quick outlet pass. It's Fia, and he's going to be close to a first down, but about a yard short. So I know you're in your own territory, but like we said, a score here would be huge.
Yeah, it would, and 4th and 1, you're kind of at that point where you're just like, I mean, again, it's easy to say up here in the booth when I'm not putting on the headset and having people potentially boo me for making a choice, but I probably would do it too. If I was playing Madden or college football, there's no chance I would be punting the ball.
I think everyone's with you right there on that call. And Farmington is going to look to punt after a long conversation between Dahl and Coach Fia. And Bainan with another really good boot. Here's Wilkinson back to receive. He's got it at his own 28, and he'll be stifled. Great coverage that time by the Phoenix, and it'll set up a long field for American Fork.
Catching him right in his tracks. It's something you want to do as a special teams unit. Just don't give them any kind of room and just smother them on that play, and they end up doing just that. But something about Farmington's offense that I'm kind of surprised is that Kava Fia, that was his first target and his first catch of the game. I thought he'd be involved way more. I know they're trying to get Drew Love involved, but you've also got to get another playmaker in Kava Fia involved.
He is the team leader in reception yards per game and touchdowns, as well as tackles per game. I mean, really a true two-way player. Like you mentioned, just not enough play so far from him early on. Childs will be back out to play for American Fork, and a nice catch out to the right side, close to a first down. Reception that time by Christian Hanshaw.
Christian Hanshaw just making plays. He had that deep 15-yard grab on that 1st and 35 on that last drive that really set them up to start trucking down in the end zone. He's just picking up where he left off on that last drive.
2nd and 2 now. Childs goes up to the O-line to call out the protection. 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. Prince Afu in the backfield alongside him. Childs gets the snap, looking to pass. He goes out to Afu. Quick pass. Afu able to shed the first tackler. Somehow weaves his way past the second for a nice gain out to the 40-yard line.
You might need to go 12 men onto the field on defense just to have another guy to help you out, bring down Prince Afu. Because right now one guy is not enough. Because he's one of those running backs who's very savvy, keeps turning the legs, keeps turning.
So American Fork going to hurry up just a little bit here. Childs, empty set. Another quick pass out to the outside as he saw some coverage go off. It's going to be David Dean out to the 49, close to another first down.
David Dean really getting involved over the last 2 drives. And, early on the first 2 drives, it was Cash Taisi. Maybe Childs and Capono have their own guys where Capono really likes to go to Cash Taisi, and David Dean is Childs' guy.
So here's Childs, back to pass. Loads of time. Now he's going to step up. He's got lots of room to run. To the 45, to the 40, to the 35, and he'll run out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Great awareness that time by the junior QB.
Saw that it was nobody within 10 yards over on his left side, and he said, you know what, I'm going to tuck this, I'm going to run, and I'm going to get a first down.
So now deep into Farmington territory with 1.5 minutes to go. Nice job by the quarterback to step out of bounds to save themselves some time as well. Three receivers to his right in the formation. Now he's going to go deep on a rollout. It's caught, and a nice catch out to the 16-yard line made by Dyson Richards.
Dyson Richards just doing whatever he needs to help this offense, whether it's blocking, whether it's making plays out in the passing game. He's a very good tight end.
It'll be a timeout called by American Fork, and we'll take it with them with just under 1.5 minutes to go here in the first half. American Fork on the heels of scoring once again as they lead at 17-0 here in the second quarter. Childs, empty set. He's going to go. A nice slant route up the middle. It's caught, and close to the end zone that time is Christian Hanshaw. They're going to mark it down at about the 1 yard line.
Christian Hanshaw on the season coming into this game, 1 catch for 10 yards.
They're going to go hurry up. Hand off to Afu. He's going to bully his way down and into the end zone for a touchdown. It's all Cavemen here in the first half.
Just a simple run right up the middle. Prince Afu finding his way into the end zone and potentially putting this game out of reach, especially if they're able to hold him for the next 1 minute and 5 seconds. And then on top of that, they're going to get the ball back to start the second half.
Very impressive first half right now by the Cavemen. And Region 3 in 6A is looking as probably the most daunting region in the entire state by a long mile. All these teams looking to make their mark here in the 2025 season. As the PAT is attempted, it's up and in. And the Cavemen are taking control of the Phoenix here in Game 4. Welcome back out to Farmington, Utah here on the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com as we have 1.5 minutes to go here with the home team Phoenix currently trailing American Fork, the number 4 team in the state, 24-0. So now you don't only have the 2-minute drill, you've got a 1-minute drill with a field ahead of you. Trevor, do the Phoenix have it in them to get down and put any points on the board?
I mean, you really haven't had any kind of hurry-up offense. You do have 2 timeouts left, but some teams thrive better, and they don't even know it when they go hurry up and no huddle. And, you know, I mean, you got to see what you've got, and I think Dahl's got the arm to be able to do it.
Set back to receive. It's going to be a fair catch. Looks to be some form of miscommunication between the 2 returners, but that'll set up the Phoenix at the 20-yard line. Even though the last drive didn't result in any points or a first down, we did see it looked to be a little bit of diversity in play calling, though, as they had some opportunities for explosive plays. They just couldn't convert.
Yeah, really, it's and credit to American Fork's defense. They're getting corners are pressing up a little bit, being able to get a lot of pressure around the edges as well with Dallin Afu and Fano as well. Really just you just got to try and create something here if you're Farmington.
Motion by York. He's going to go right to left. Here's Dahl in the backfield, looking to go quick. Oh, and throws it dangerously into double coverage by the middlemen linebackers, and that'll set up a 2nd and 10.
That's going to be a play that's going to come up in film tomorrow as one that you shouldn't have thrown. He's lucky that was not completed or intercepted.
Tanner Nielsen, the intended receiver, but American Fork all over that one. Dahl now looking to get something going here with 1 minute and 1 now left in the first half. Now he's looking to go deep. He's got it, man, and a nice catch that time. Out on the outside, Tanner Nielsen, the same receiver, now up to the 40.
Tanner Nielsen had a potential for a big play on that first drive of the game, but was just overthrown. Really good catch, hauling that one in and getting some yards.
Here's Dahl looking to pass once again. Protection's been much better this go around. He's going to take it himself. He's going to dive towards the 49 for a gain of about 4.
I was looking to see if maybe a flag would come in, but there isn't. And with 37 seconds left, they're going to use a timeout.
So Farmington will call a timeout. We'll stay right here with you. Phoenix currently 2-1, and they are in Region 1 of 6A. We've been talking a lot about Region 3, but for the Phoenix, coming up on the other side of this schedule, we mentioned they'll play on the road against Lone Peak on the 12th, and then they play their first region game against Weber at home. In between them and Davis is a battle with Fremont, but straight up the last 3 games, Davis, Syracuse, Layton. Trevor, looking at the final 6 games of the season, what do you see as the potential for this Phoenix squad, especially in Region 1 play?
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you know, we all thought going into last year it was going to be Weber and Davis winning it, but then it was Fremont and Farmington who had co-share of the title last year and really came out of nowhere. And now Farmington brings back some of those guys, some of the starters who have experience and know what it's like to win a region championship. But Davis is looking really good right now.
And last year, even though Farmington had a losing record, like you mentioned, they were tied for first in the region. Could this be similar this year where, I mean, these tough battles, not saying win or lose, but these tough battles could set them up for excellence in region play?
Yeah, it could. And, you know, in region play, you kind of just throw the records out because it's a whole different ball game, because region means something more than some of the non-region games that some of these schools play.
Great tackle by American Fork, and that defense as Mitt Palmer, the senior linebacker, was able to get into the backfield. So no timeout's going to be called by the Phoenix. They might have one last go to try and get this one in the end zone before half. It's going to be a blitz. Can he get protection? No, he can't, and he's sacked. American Fork dominating here in the north as they travel up from Utah County and end the first half with a 24-0 run. Absolutely dominant performance right now by the Cavemen.
Dialing up a blitz on what was potentially a Hail Mary play. You drop a bunch of guys back, but then still able to get a very effective pass rush. I got to say, American Fork is feeling really good about themselves heading into the locker room.
So American Fork leads at 24-0 here on the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. We'll be back with second half action. Welcome back out to Farmington High School here on the Rewind Sports Network. Nate Thatcher alongside my broadcast partner Trevor Allen. And while we get ready for this one to get going here in the second half, Trevor, walk us through what's going around the state of Utah right now in high school football.
Just kicked off in Nevada. The first time Game Night Live has been out of state. They are in Nevada to carry the Bishop Corman Lone Peak game. And for those of you who thought maybe the Knights could come in and pull out an upset, it's not looking good. 5 minutes into the game, and Bishop Corman's already up 2 scores. Scored a touchdown with ease on their first drive and then a pick 6 on the second drive. We'll see how they answer back with Kepa at quarterback. And then after taking the lead for most of the first half, Syracuse is holding a 24-14 lead over Rigby in Idaho. They're either number 1 or number 2 up in Idaho. So a really good showing right now for Syracuse, is off to a great start this year. And then the last I checked, Corner Canyon is leading Liberty out of Arizona. They're at home, but Liberty's number 1 in Arizona. They were up by 2 touchdowns. Crimson Cliffs is holding a lead over Brighton down in St. George. It is 35-23 in the fourth quarter. They're already in the fourth quarter. That's insane. And then Alta Davis, our buddies over there, Alex Napolis and Brian Brown on the call. It is not good if you're an Alta fan. 42-6, and they just hit halftime.
Wow. Speaking about all these out-of-state or, far out-of-region games where you're traveling across the state of Utah, what's that like as the visiting team, especially when you're having to go on the road for long periods of time? What's the benefit of the scheduling that if you're said school?
I mean, really, it's more just like challenging. If for me as a coach, if I'm going to cross, as the whole thing is shaking up here because of the crowd below us, like Brian, I would see why you want to go down and play Crimson Cliffs, because I believe they ended up playing them last year up here. But Crimson Cliffs is a 2-time defending state champion in 4A. It's challenging because as a coach, you want to look at the RPI and be like, okay, we need to look good on the RPI, even if it's not a win. It's still going to help us in the rankings when it comes to the playoffs, because we're taking on challenging teams and not scheduling, for a lack of a better word, cupcake teams. But it's really hard to cross state, to go clear down to St. George, because on a Friday night you're getting out of school early, you're riding on a bus. It can kind of drain you mentally to then get off and go play a football game.
We were talking about it off air, but a really big game for Lone Peak, playing Bishop Gorman, one of the premier high schools in the entire country. Lots of talent that really go on to play D1 football and play in the NFL. What's the benefit in scheduling that game where you're playing an opponent that, while Lone Peak is a top 5 team in the state here in Utah, Bishop Gorman is no joke down there in Vegas.
It always seems like over the last few years it's just been Corner Canyon trying to represent Utah, playing against teams like IMG Academy, where they stunned the whole nation last year, beating IMG Academy out of Florida. But they've also played Bishop Gorman down in Nevada. They've also played them up here in Utah. And now, the Knights are like, it's our turn. We have a really good team. We are full of talent. The Pula twins, Kepanieme Tolu, Bot Mulitalo. You've got a good team who's contending for 6A this year. Why don't we go down and try our hand against Bishop Gorman? But after talking to some of the coaches, because I was calling the Lone Peak Tipview game last week, they were like, they have 22 guys already who have P4 offers, and they have a really young defense. So you're telling me freshmen, sophomores, juniors are getting P4 offers? It's just the way Bishop Gorman is. And you just want to go down there, and yeah, you're able to pick up an upset win. That puts a big spotlight on this state. But just to go down there and just compete ends up putting a good name for our state, because it's been a while since the state of Utah has really produced really elite teams. Obviously a lot of kids who've gone, played at the level here, playing football, but then going off to the NFL. There's a lot of talent there, but per capita, the state of Utah produces one of the most talent coming out of the state per capita going to the NFL.
And let's get ready for second half action here between Farmington and American Fork. We can catch up on keys here in the second half. Obviously, the Cavemen dominated, especially in tempo and offensive production, once they started getting going after their first offensive series. It went both ways. Nate Childs really led the way for the second half of that first half, but Capono Manuela also had some really good drives. It was all Prince Afu, though, with that running game that really got things going for him.
Yeah, really, the only thing coming into games of what you want to have, top of your game plan, feed Prince Afu. And then when that doesn't happen, you've got guys like Cash Taitzi, David Dean, Dyson Richards, who can also make plays on the outside. And right now they're doing everything they want to do offensively.
So it's going to be Manuela again, a handoff up to Prince Afu. And it's really been those plays that go right up the gut. He somehow is still able to gain 5 or 6 yards even when the box is stacked.
As a defense, when you end up loading up the box, you've got a really good running back, and that American Fork is going to run the ball on first down, because they've done that all night long. And because of what they're trying to do is then get ahead of schedule. And then if something, collapses on second down, then you're able to create some plays on third.
Both of the quarterbacks for American Fork have shown the use of their legs as well, so you have double threat in the backfield for the boys in white. Here's going to be a handoff up to Afu, and he gains a nice gain to the left side, but here is our early laundry of the second half. We've got a flag on the far side of the field.
Yeah, that one's coming back, holding.
Holding on American Fork.
So we saw American Fork have a lot of those calls against the offensive line in the first half, but they were able to recover at one point on their second to last drive in that first half. It was a 1st and 35 from their own side of the field, but slowly but surely they were able to get explosive plays, get themselves back in the game.
Yeah, it's one of those things where even in like basketball, you're down 20 points. You're not going to, because they've actually been playing really well on defense over the last 3 games to start the season, allowing, I believe it's like 14 points or something like 28 points or something like that. But a lot of missed tackles in this game.
So a fake clap that time to check the offensive line. Manuel, it's going to be a 3rd and 1 now for the Cavemen. 2 receivers to the right. Afu behind him. It's going to be a handoff to Prince. Up the middle. Gains the first yardage just enough. Out to the 31-yard line. Another first down here for American Fork.
We might have to get like a seatbelt up here, Nate, because whenever the crowd's jumping, you and I are swaying back and forth, and poor Quentin, our cameraman here, is trying to bounce the camera. So if you guys notice the swaying of the camera back and forth, that's why. Pretty good turnout here. I think it's like patriotic night or something like that. Red, white,
USA
blue
theme. I guess you could say the booth is giving us that 4D experience of being a tackler against Prince Afu. You get to feel the real shake when he goes up against you.
Is this what it's like sitting in the muss? Oh, I'm wondering.
It could be.
I've never sat in the muss.
And a nice tackle behind the line of scrimmage by the Farmington defense as looks like Madden Jensen was the carrier that time, going right to left.
Farmington is capable of getting stops. They are capable of getting into the backfield. They are capable of stopping the run at the line of scrimmage. They just haven't been able to put it together consistently. But really good job there.
Troy Stevens, the senior defensive end, leading the way on tackles that time. Captain of this Phoenix squad, sets up a 2nd and 12 now for Manuela and the offense. Capono. It's going to be a play-action rollout. It was red. He's got a pass. Intended receiver that time was Dyson Richards on the rollout. Couldn't get it going. Great coverage that time. Grant Preston back in the game after that early injury in the first quarter, but a really good play going after the quarterback on that rollout.
Good news for them because he's the anchor on that defense, the leader. But on that roll, it's just one of those things, again, on the rollout. You probably practice it 100 times throughout the week, throwing on the run. It's a really hard throw to make, especially at the high school level.
Could be a really good start here for Farmington as they have set up a 3rd and 12 for American Fork. They can hold them here. That might give them some momentum to try and find a way to come back. Manuela's going to get the snap. He's pressured. He's rolled out, and he's tripped up in the backfield. Who else is it? Grant Preston. Back-to-back great plays, only this time it ends up in a sack.
He had to be helped off the field on the opening kickoff on special teams, and then comes back and makes a big-time sack to force Fork down. And now American Fork has to punt. Could be a big-time swing as far as the momentum to maybe provide a boost for this offense.
That was a battle in the trenches that we haven't seen Farmington win this entire game, and it seemed like after that holding penalty, they really got their way past the line of scrimmage and into the quarterback's face. So here's a punt from their own end zone, and a nice opportunity for Fia to return, except ball's going to bounce out of bounds at the 50-yard line, but now you have a really good field position for Farmington to go and set yourself up for a score. So while it is 24-0, this game is far from over. We've got a lot of time left in this one.
I mean, you got to capitalize on it. The defense ends up getting a stop when, American Fork had all the momentum coming into the half because scoring a touchdown and then getting the ball to start the half could potentially go up 31-0, but they end up getting a stop, and now you get favorable field position. You're just out on the outside of American Fork territory. You got to be, for me here, Nate, you got to get this into the end zone. This is a must-score possession for Farmington.
Let's see if they do just that. It's Dahl in the backfield. Not a lot of explosive plays so far for the Phoenixes. They're going to go with a quick pass on the far side. It's caught. Here's Hamblin moving out to the 45 for a nice gain of 4, but a great tackle on the outside by Noah Bebb.
Just something easy. Throw it out into the flat. Have your wideouts start making plays, and that's exactly what happened. Just start chipping away a little bit, because then what it'll do, it'll open up the playbook a little bit to where maybe you can get Drew Love to go up the middle, or maybe a play action to go over the top.
With only 24 minutes in time in the second half, is there really room for mistakes here for Farmington if they want to get back in this one?
No, there's not. Absolutely not, because you got to start chipping away at this lead now.
Here's Love. Gaining about 1. It's going to set up a 3rd and short. Drew Love not really able to get things going so far on the ground tonight for his home team.
Yeah, he's been having a hard time, but credit that defensive front. I've been crediting all night defensive line for American Fork, led by Dallin Afu. That man is a beast on that edge, and he's quick. He's very light on his feet for a defensive lineman.
So 3rd and 1, Farmington has to connect here. And it's a nice pass threading the needle inside. Great catch by Tanner Nielsen. We saw that inside pass attempted in the first half. It was really covered well, almost an interception by American Fork, but this time Nielsen's able to get the catch for first down.
Coming into the game, I was telling you, it's Drew Love and Kava Fia as far as playmakers on offense, but why not have it go to Tanner Nielsen On the year, he has 9 catches for 76 yards coming into this game.
The 6'1", 180-pound receiver is putting on a show here tonight, trying to see if they can convert it into a score, and it's another quick pass. Who else? It's Nielsen, and he gains what looks to be about 4 on the play. So once again, they're chipping away, like you said. Not many explosive plays, but they're really able to find some open receivers so far with some quick plays.
Yeah, on that first down, trying to go to Love, and then it didn't really work that much. Try and get into the passing game again. Just try and find your pockets. You don't need to have a home run play here. It'd be nice if you're Coach Fia, but really you just got to find a way to get the ball into the end zone.
Dahl in the backfield, a 2nd and 6. Love's behind him. It is going to be a handoff on a delay. Love's going up the gut, and he's going to bounce his way up for another short gain of about 2 up to the 30-yard line. Trevor, a question for you. They're down 24, but technically that is only a 3-possession game if they get 3 straight touchdowns with 2-point conversions. Do you think that's the method if you're going into this one?
Yeah, you really have to, because it's one of those things where, all right, we've already dug ourselves a hole, but you're going up against one of the top 10 teams in the entire state of Utah, and you've got to shine some light here. If you're able to get into the end zone, you just got to keep up some of that swagger and being able to pick up a 2-point conversion.
Here's Dahl in the backfield. It'll be a 3rd and 4. Jet sweep. He's going to hand it off. It's Nielsen, and he's picked up in the backfield. Great wrap up that time by Noah Bebb. He's had 2 great tackles now on this possession.
What a play by Noah Beam, just coming right up in pursuit and making the tackle. He's one of those playmakers. We haven't called his name much tonight because it's been up in the trenches, but a great play on the outside by Noah Beam.
So although Beam set up a 4th down, they're going to go for it. As we've said, there is no room for mistakes here for this Phoenix squad.
A field goal doesn't do anything, and then punting doesn't do anything either.
So an empty formation. Here's Dahl. It's an all-out blitz. He's going deep, and he overshoots his receiver, who was going to walk into the end zone. Isaac Hoge was wide open, but it's going to be a late hit on the quarterback that'll save Farmington from this drive being over.
I'm just wondering what Dahl's eyes looked like when he saw Dalinofu coming right at him and wasn't blocked at all, but a very costly penalty for American Fork, which still gives Farmington some light.
It'll set up the Phoenix at the American Fork 16-yard line for a 1st and 10. And we've mentioned it's very scary to go up against Dalinofu.
I would not want to be one-on-one in an alley with that kid.
It's probably hard for him not to tackle a guy when he sees him wide open in the backfield.
But that was definitely the right call.
Here's Dahl looking to pass. He's got a man out there, almost intercepted, and great coverage on the outside that time. And it looks to be
Derek Manning
on the coverage. He's been really impressive so far in the backfield tonight for the Cavemen.
I mean, it's hard to cover top wide receivers for other teams, but it's always a challenge. As a competitor, I would always want to guard the guy who's getting a lot of production, but Kava Fia hasn't really been involved, and so credit to the defensive backs and the corners to really shut him down and really take him out of the game plan.
Looks to be some confusion as the play clock was winding down, but they're going to reset it.
Yeah, Coach Beam, I think, is getting after the white hat.
Here's Dahl. Quick pass out to Love in the flat. He's got some blockers. Down to the 5, to the 2, to the 1. Is he in? They're going to mark him just short, down at the half-yard line. But a great pass and run that time by Drew Love.
I thought his offensive lineman was just going to pick him up and throw him into the end zone, because it really looked like that with Brandon Olson right there trying to push him into the end zone. Just close, very close. At this rate, you might as well do like a tush push or something. Just get the ball in the end zone if you're Farmington.
They are only a half-yard away from getting this ball in the end zone and making it a 2-possession game if possible. But it looks like a timeout will be called by the Phoenix, and we will take it with them. Farmington on the door here in the 3rd quarter on the Rewind Sports Network. Out to Farmington High School, where the Phoenix practically have 1 foot into the end zone. Door is open for them to cut this lead down to potentially 16 with a 2-point conversion.
In honor of the Eagles' win last night, do a tush push.
Here's Dahl under center. He's going to hand it off. Here's Love. trying to find his way through, but it looks like he was stopped short. Great effort that time by the American Fork defense to put their foot down on the door and stop him from entering.
The one quality thing about having a very good defensive line is that it makes goal line stands a lot easier, because if you're just trying to just force your way in there, you've got a lot of power on that defensive line for American Fork to keep him out of the end zone.
So Dull's actually going to be taken out. It looks to be a wildcat formation with Kava Fiafia in the backfield. A playmaker we said hasn't been utilized enough in the first half. He has a chance to do something special right here. He gets it, but flags are up, and it looks...
Coach Beam wants a timeout. He did not expect that, and neither did his defense. That was a very good timeout for Coach Beam.
We'll take it with him. 2 timeouts now back-to-back here in the end zone as Farmington's looking to cut this one. 24-0 American Fork. Welcome back out to Farmington High School, where the Phoenix once again on the doorstep of doing something great here and cutting this lead down to potentially 16. Nate Thatcher alongside Trevor Allen. We just saw back-to-back timeouts. One by Farmington has set up the Wildcat formation with Kava Fiafia, but then a rebuttal by American Fork because they weren't expecting that. So, Trevor, what do you think the Phoenix will do here to try and get their first score tonight?
So, Coach Beam ends up calling a timeout just as they were about to snap it, and then so you kind of saw of what was going to happen with that play. Now you got to go into the huddle, change it up a little bit, still coming out in the Wildcat.
So here's Fiafia once again, but now a motion, a fake handoff to Nielsen. Fiafia's got it, and he's into the end zone. It's a touchdown, and the Farmington ranks go berserk for the first 6 for the boys in blue.
So it was just a fake jet sweep, and it looks like we have maybe a guy down. Yeah, we do, a player down, and then it was just a fake jet sweep, and then he thought he had a lane, had to cut it to the outside, and there was no one there to within 5 yards to tackle him. Great play by Kava Fiafia, but there is a Farmington player down, and I don't think it looks good.
Okay, we'll take a timeout, and actually we'll stay here as looks like he's slowly getting up. You hate to see that, especially on a play with a lot of momentum, a lot of joys. You're finally able to get into the end zone, but then to see a player go down in the process, it's a tough blow for Farmington.
He is at least sitting up.
And it looks like it's actually Drew Love.
Is that Drew Love? Oh, that would be big time for Farmington. That would hurt. I mean, you don't want anyone to get hurt, but Drew Love's one of your top playmakers.
And we just saw him able to crack a really big play open that set them up in that short yardage in the red zone. I mean, he was really only able to get a couple yards at a time with the run game, but it was really that catch in the flat where he was able to put some moves on some cavemen. It's good to see him up and walking, but obviously a little bit
under
frail.
His own power as well, which is huge.
So as we mentioned, Farmington has now cut it. It's an 18-point game. They want to make it 16. It's a 3-possession game if you get all 2-point conversions converted. So,
which they were thinking exactly what you and I have been talking about. They're coming out and going for 2.
So here we go. Here's Dahl and company. This one's going to be huge if they want to stay in this one. To his right, looks to be Grant Preston, or it's Fiafia. It's Preston, and it's a fake, but here is Fiafia. He's got a wide open end zone. Can American Fork close it? No, they can't. Kava is putting Farmington back into this one. He's cut it to 16.
A double reverse, and Kava Fiafia. First it looked like Preston was just going to be caught in his tracks, but then Kava Fiafia bursts to the outside, and only defensive lineman can get him, and defensive lineman cannot outrun Kava Fiafia. Great play on 2-point conversion, going into the playbook a little bit for Farmington.
Phoenix are back in this one, 24-8 our score with 3 minutes left in the third. Farmington, Utah's the Phoenix, able to get 8 points on the board, an impressive touchdown and 2-point conversion by Kava Fiafia. A playmaker we mentioned wasn't utilized enough in the first half. Well, he was utilized right there, and he's able to cut the deficit.
Putting American Fork on notice, and now an onside kick.
And almost recovered by the Phoenix, but it is going to be a penalty as the ball soars out of bounds. But Farmington's really looking to get back in this one. Very aggressive on both sides of the ball and now in special teams.
Hamblin flew off that line. All of a sudden, you just see a guy in a dark jersey just zip past the 50-yard line and nearly had it. They were just trying to say, get that to the outside. I'll fly down there and get it, but just the timing was just a second off.
That'll set up American Fork in excellent field position, as they will already be at the Farmington 46-yard line. It will be Capono, Manuela, and company back out. And they had a rough go of things the last time around after a big sack in the backfield by Grant Preston. So they haven't really had any offensive momentum here in the second half. Early motion by the tight end. Here's Manuela. It's going to be a quarterback keeper up the middle. And he's going to be stuffed after a gain of 2. So Farmington able to stuff the run so far here in this third quarter.
Now for Farmington, the one thing you're going up against is you did have a lot of momentum going your way, but then you can't quite get the onside kick. The really negative part of that is it gives them favorable field position. So now you've got to fight even harder to keep them even out of field goal range, because even a field goal can knock this thing back up.
2nd and 8. Ball at the 44-yard line. Manuela, handoff to Prince. Off who's going to go, and he's stopped near the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of 1 or 2, something, once again, we haven't seen a lot of so far tonight.
Yeah, just a very good run right there, but then stopping for Farmington right there. I was going to say start of the drive, just keep feeding Prince Afu, but if Farmington's going to start loading up the box, you might want to go play action.
So now a 3rd and 6. Here's another critical down for the Phoenix to try and claw their way back into this one in what would be a massive upset of a top 5 team in the state. Empty set. And it's going to be a pressure once again. Preston can't get him. And it's a one-on-one, but it's dropped in the backfield. Great coverage that time by Chase Hamblin, but it will be a drop pass on the far side by Christian Hanshaw, tight end, that's been able to be very active tonight.
Capono had him right on the money, just couldn't haul it in, but really good coverage there as well by Hamblin, because even if the catch was hauled in, he would have stopped him right then and there. But also, it now sets up 4th down.
So now a punt, once again by American Fork. So they were able to score on 4 possessions in that first half. So far now, 0 for 2 here in the third quarter.
I'll tell you this, Nate. I called 2 Farmington games last year. One was against Orem and one was against Fremont, and they came out and laid an egg in the first half in both of those games, as that was a really good punt right there, pinning them back. But then second half, punt. Farmington coming back and really making it a game. It sounds like it's the same ordeal here tonight.
So Jet Prestwich has put Farmington way back in their own territory. It's going to be a 94-yard field ahead of them to try and get another score on the board. So, Trevor, walk me through that last possession. What do you think helped Farmington finally put 8 points to come back into this one?
I think it was just guys that are just playing assignment football, going into your spots, making tackles. There wasn't a lot of missed tackles there. They're, tackling Prince Afu in the backfield or, giving him a 1 or 2 yard gain.
So Grant Preston now in the backfield. As we did mention, Drew Love went down when they scored on the last go-around. Preston's going to have it, and he's wrapped up in the backfield. There's the American Fork defensive line we haven't seen for a quarter.
And it looks like I think Drew Love's going to go back out there here in just a minute. He was just getting water. He's walking just fine. And I think he's searching for his coach saying, hey, I'm good to go. Put me in.
So a 2nd and 12, ball on their own 4. The Phoenix are going to have to come up with something big here, as it's going to be Preston in the backfield. One receiver out to both sides, near sideline. And a clap. They're going to check things up.
3 down linemen as well for American Fork.
Dahl's going to check protection. Under a minute now to go here in the third. It's going to be another handoff. And there's the American Fork defense swarming them. And now the Phoenix are trapped back at their own 1.
Yeah, not a play you really want to run on 3rd down. And is it 3rd down now?
It will be 3rd down and 14.
Still, even on 2nd down, you don't want to do that because you almost got, if it wasn't for forward progress, could potentially be knocking on the door of a safety.
Jackson Theobald and the company read that play from the beginning. Let's see if they want to snap this before the third quarter ends. Doesn't look like they will. So American Fork still leads it, but Farmington still in it as well, as they currently trail 24-8 as we head into the fourth quarter here on the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. We are back, ready for fourth quarter action here on the Rewind Sports Network. Nate Thatcher alongside Trevor Allen. And Farmington with a desperate attempt at a 3rd and 14 from their own 2-yard line to try and come back from a 24-point deficit at halftime. They've held the Cavemen scoreless in the third. A huge start for their defense, but the offense has to capitalize on the defense success.
And it doesn't help that you're pinned back at your own 2-yard line on third down.
Here we go. It's going to be a Fia on a Wildcat. He's got blockers out to the left side. He's tackled. Gain of 8 out to the 11-yard line. So now it's going to set up a 4th and long, and it looks like Farmington is going to want to punt this one away.
Yeah, you got to punt it on that. You can't risk not getting it and then setting them up for only 11 yards of field position. I would do the same thing, but it's a big killer because you had a lot of momentum on your side, getting a stop, scoring, getting a stop, and then getting another stop again, but then having a punt.
Oh, my goodness, another great punt by Bainan. Bounce will come back to the 42, and that is where American Fork will start. So we did see Capono Manuela with 2 scoreless possessions, so it looks like Nate Childs, they do the 2-2, they go back and forth. He's now going to come out. He'll have a chance to put American Fork back on the board, try and increase this lead and set the game away.
Yeah, and, it's actually a very interesting dynamic because even in, like, college football, in the days of BYU, we're having to play 2 quarterbacks. Utah did it years ago, early in their Pac-12 era. It's hard because you've got 2 quarterbacks who have different skill sets of what they do well. But also it's hard because the quarterbacks have different chemistry as far as with their wide receivers and playmakers.
Here's Dyson with a catch in the flat out to the outside. Gain of 3 on the far side. So another quick pass. But Nate Childs able to gain some yardage. And he did face a lot of penalties, like we mentioned, from his offensive line. But he did a really great job of recovering, especially with his arm and with his legs.
Yeah, just got to be able to start chipping away at this clock, not give any life to Farmington. And if you're Farmington, it's kind of like on Remember the Titans. Don't let them gain another yard.
2nd and 8, ball on their own 45. American Fork looking to put this one away and stay undefeated on the season. It's going to be a handoff up the middle, but that is read by the Farmington defense. So the run game is what set the tempo and momentum for American Fork in that first half because it was really not explosive plays, but chunk yardage that allowed them to keep the clock rolling. But so far, haven't been able to see that here in the second half.
Yeah, they've and credit to Coach Fia and his coaching staff at the half, really ended up making adjustments. And I think a lot of it was, you guys have got to wrap up, you got to tackle. We can't have the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th defender taking down Prince Afu. And they've actually done a really good job of wrapping up the first contact and taking them to the ground.
3rd and 6 now, a very important down for both of these teams. Childs in the backfield. Afu next to him. He's looking to pass. He's pressured, and he's taken down in the backfield. What a defensive effort by Farmington here in this second half, as they have held now both quarterbacks scoreless on their possessions.
Maybe a little bit of film work at halftime and saying, look, these are the things you guys can do to their offensive line to be able to get into the backfield and make plays, because that's all Farmington's defense has done. It's looking like the same defense that has gotten them to this point, through the first 3 games of the season.
Brandon Olson and Ethan Hunt on the collection of Nate Childs in the backfield that can set up their offense once again for success. A little bit of a short punt here. Let's see which way it bounces. It will go backwards. So Farmington will start at the 32-yard line. Much better field position than they were in last time.
Yeah, you don't want to be pinned back at your own 5, potentially getting a safety. Now the question is, you can't get sacks, you can't get tackled in the backfield, and you can't have costly penalties. Really, you got to play penalty-free football if you're Farmington from this point, because time's ticking. And you don't have a lot of opportunities because you've got to get in the end zone 2 more times with two-point conversions.
You have to think that Kava Fiafia will be a player they're going to want to use. Not only that, they probably need to use here in these final few possessions to try and get back in this one. He has been the difference maker when they've needed to get either a first down or a touchdown.
Yeah, and it looks like he's coming out. I think he's like the quarterback right now. They're just going to go Wildcat because it's working. Why not use it?
So Wildcat formation, as Trevor mentioned. Here's Fiafia in the backfield. And he's going to look to pass. He's got a man out there, and it's caught and then dropped by Nielsen. Fiafia put it right in front of him, but great coverage that time and a good pass breakup by Corbin Bowerly.
Bowerly, I mean, that was on the money by Kava Fiafia. He's showing us like things he can do more than just be a tackler and a runner and being able to catch it. He could throw the football as well. What a dot.
2nd and 10 after the incompletion. Fiafia is going to stay in a quarterback. It's a play action. He's going to roll out. Still looking to go. And there's that tackle for loss you don't want to see if you're Farmington. But great pursuit on the defensive side of the ball. Samuel Merton, who leads the team in sacks, also ranks top 10 in the state of Utah, gets going on that one for a tackle for loss.
Sam Merton, we haven't called his name much. It's been mainly the big hogs up front, but getting into the teeth of that offensive line and being able to create a TFL.
3rd and 12 now for Fiafia in the offense. He's going to keep it, and he's sacked. Guess who else? Dallin Afu.
Dallin Afu is only a matter of time before he ends up getting into the backfield again. I've noticed probably since that second quarter, Nate, where you've really had to have that tackle and guard, whether he's lining up on the left side or the right side. They're having to double him and having to use a guard to be able to double team him, which then opens up other players to come in and create havoc in the backfield.
So Dallin Afu comes back to life here in this 4th quarter to save his American Fork Cavemen from a comeback mounted by the Phoenix. Farmington will punt it away. Wilkinson back to return. He's got it at his own 32, but a good wrap-up by the coverage that time led by Brant Shumway.
Brought down immediately at the 32-yard line by Brant Shumway.
Everything is here for American Fork to really just take over and win this game. You just have to just rely on your ground game and just play assignments down football. Don't create any holding penalties or, false starts or anything that'll end up backing you up and give Farmington any kind of hope.
7:31 now left in the ball game. Nate Childs back for his second possession of the second half. Prince Afu to his left. Cash Taisi on the near sideline, a name we haven't called for a while. 2 receivers out to his right.
We haven't called him since the first quarter.
Childs looking to pass. It's a quick pass, and it's intercepted! Preston's got it, and he's headed for the end zone. Farmington's back in it.
Preston comes out of the game in the first quarter and wasn't looking good. He had to be had to be helped off the field. Ends up making a big time sack in the 3rd quarter, and then reads that play like a book and goes for 6. I've got to say, whoa, that's we are shaking up here. Apologies for that, but Grant Preston making his presence known, if only he was able to play in that first half.
He has been all over this field here in the 4th. But once again, Farmington has to come out and convert a 2-point conversion. They can make this a 1-possession game. Unbelievable from where we were at halftime.
It's just amazing of what one player can do, especially on defense. One of your leaders.
Here we go. Motion by Nielsen. Bunch formation. Play action, a rollout. And it is caught and into the end zone for another 2-point conversion. The catch made this time by Troy Stevens, the senior tight end. It's a 1-possession game, Trevor.
I would love to be a fly on the wall in the locker room of Farmington at halftime and what Coach Fiafia and his staff said to his team, because they just decided to come out and make play after play after play. Just when we thought American Fork could take over and really just put the nail in the coffin, Farmington comes out and makes a big-time play. What a comeback here by the Phoenix.
7:22, 7:23, official time 7:22 on our. We'll change that for you so we can be as accurate as we can for the folks at home.
And, going back off of that a pick six, they were, trying to go to the tight end, and he was kind of fading back on that as he was, like, trying to make that catch. And Preston's like, nuh-uh, I'm taking this, and just making a really big-time play and acting like nothing really happened on that injury because it didn't look good. Because I think it was on the opening kickoff, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And it took him a while to get up, but he must have done something at halftime because he has come to life. He's been active in the backfield, and that time reads the coverage perfectly. I mean, Nate Childs threw it directly to his numbers, and he took it into the end zone for 6, and this game has flipped completely upside down.
Now, how does American Fork answer is the question. They haven't been able to get anything going on offense. Prince Afu has been held in check in the second half, and really just a lot of playmaking by this Farmington defense showing us of what they're capable of holding teams to around 10 points.
We talk a lot about how great American Fork is as a top 5 team in the state, but this is now their 4th interception in 4 games, and that turnover may have just changed the entire game for this team.
And now we go back to Capono at quarterback. Manuela's in.
Prince Afu in the backfield with him as it is a earthquake up here in the booth.
Hold on to your hat, Nate.
Here's Afu up the gut, and that's the Prince of old as he's able to gain 7 on the play and drag a couple tacklers with him.
That is a statement play you need if you're American Fork. On first down, get it to your back and just let him run and turn, and he picks up 7 yards on a big time on a first down play where they needed to make a statement.
So 2nd and 3, under 7 to go here. So you have a little bit of leniency here if you're the defense, but they have been absolutely stout here in the second half. American Fork will really just want to drain this clock. Afu once again, and he is met immediately in the backfield. Great tackle for loss. Oh, and they're going to say it's a turnover.
It is a turnover. He ripped it right out of his hands.
Farmington's got it, and they're in excellent field position at the 26-yard line of the Cavemen.
It was hard to see it up here. It was more off of the reaction. I'm pretty sure they just ripped it right out of his hands.
This is unbelievable.
It said, "This is my football."
What a Friday night on the gridiron.
Nate, what's going on right now?
This is a complete switch from what we saw for the first 24 minutes of action and change into the third quarter. This team is ready to come back and thrive, and look who it is. It's Kava Fiafia, ready to lead this team down the field once again.
Farmington might have their new quarterback. And Coach Fiafia saw 4 seconds on the play clock, had to call a timeout. Not one you wanted to use, especially when you only had 2.
We'll take it with them. Farmington trails 24-16, but all momentum is here with the home squad on the Rewind Sports Network. Welcome back out to Farmington High School, where the Phoenix are on the momentum run of a lifetime, thanks to Kava Fiafia and company, especially Grant Preston on the defensive side of the ball. But it looks like they're going to change things back to the way they were before, with Alton Dahl back in at QB, as they have excellent field possession at the Cavemen 27.
I think really what it is, Nate, is that as soon as the sun went down and the lights went on, that is when the plays started being made for Farmington.
Here's Dahl looking to pass. Got a man out there. It's Nielsen in the flat. Moving to the outside. Sheds a tackler. And he's able to get down to about the 20-yard line for a gain of 7.
I like the fact how he ended up shedding 1 tackle, but he should have just started getting north and south right after that. He kind of went a little bit east and west again. Just try and get every yard you can get, because it's going to matter when it comes down to crunch time with 6 minutes to go.
2nd and 3, ball at the 20. 6 minutes to go. Empty set for Dahl in the backfield. He's going across, quick pass out of the reach of Drew Love, which will set up a 3rd and short.
There were about 3 dudes in Dahl's face. And he just had to get rid of it, which was smart. Just get it to the outside. If, a play can't be made, live to play another down.
We've seen on important plays tonight, that's really when American Fork likes to send the blitz and try and put Dahl under pressure.
Yeah, dialing it up on second down. And now third down. I wouldn't be shocked if they also did it again here.
It looks like blitz, and it is going to be a blitz. He's going to go deep. He's got a man out there. And it is caught! Pinned against the defender, Tanner Nielsen has put this team back within reach. Farmington now only down 2, a 2-point conversion away from tying this game up.
Great pickup by the offensive line on that blitz, and an even better catch and touchdown grab for Tanner Nielsen. And Nate, I feel like I'm in a dream right now. What is going on here?
This is unbelievable. Farmington is on the verge of tying a game after being down 24-0 at halftime.
He literally pinned that against the defensive back.
That is unbelievable.
What awareness.
For the tie, here's Dahl. Gets the snap. Going to the end zone, and it is incomplete. A huge play that keeps Farmington down 2, but that is absolutely unbelievable. They are only down 2 right now.
But you know what, Nate? That's okay because Farmington has all the confidence, all the momentum on their side, especially on defense. They are flying around and making plays. If they could get that exact same result, they can not only take the lead but potentially win this game.
This would be, as we mentioned, both in pregame and throughout the first half, the biggest win of Coach Fiafia's first-year career as a head coach, especially if you're beating a top-5 team in the state and a team like American Fork.
That would just be an absolute statement win and really give them a lot of confidence going into Lone Peak next week, playing against a Knights team who's playing Bishop Gorman right now and competing with Bishop Gorman. So you need all the confidence you could get going into Lone Peak next week.
They could have it, as I have never seen a momentum shift of this size in high school football in my life in person.
Nate, I think it's safe to say, win or loss, that is a helmet sticker for Tanner Nielsen.
Yeah.
It's got to be a tad big.
Unbelievable catch. Let's bring that up in post-game, because that was one of the greatest catches I have ever seen in person.
I think you will see that play in top 5 plays next week with Dane Stewart.
So here's the kickoff. It's Afu. He's going to actually look to return this one. And he dives his way out to the 20. We've got a flag on the play, though.
But how about Tanner Nielsen? I just want to go back to that. Not only has he made a great touchdown catch to keep, Farmington within reach of potentially getting an upset here, but he has been making plays all night, especially when Kava Fiafia wasn't really in the picture, or when he was even in the Wildcat. He was getting involved and just making plays wherever he needed to be.
So a holding call went against American Fork on the return, which sets them up back at their own 7.
There's still plenty of time here for Farmington, and they're getting a little too excited on the sideline. Coaches are having to tell them, we don't want a sideline warning, we don't want a flag, get back.
It feels like we are on top of an earthquake right now.
It really does.
And it could get a whole lot louder if this Farmington defense can come up with a stop.
We have fragile equipment up here, guys.
Manuela with a handoff. Gain of 3 out to the 10-yard line. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
If someone's hugging our camera, it's just because Quentin's trying to protect the goods. Quentin might have to be hugging the camera if they score another touchdown. Or even a field goal. Bainan was able to win the game last week up in Idaho.
So American Fork looking to just drain as much clock as they can.
Only one timeout for Farmington.
Capono in the backfield. It's going to be a play-action pass, a rollout. Oh, and he's able to juke a defender. Now here he is on the run. Capono out to the 20, to the 25. and gets out of bounds. And that time he's able to evade a defender in the backfield. What a move that time by Manuela.
That was a big-time play from your running quarterback because he didn't have anything going into the passing game, and it said, you know what, I'm just going to use my wheels, and I'm going to get us a first down. What a play, just being shifty with his body.
Easton Hunt was in the backfield, not able to capitalize. It's now 1st and 10 at the 25. Capona with a great move. And the first sign of momentum for the Cavemen here in this fourth quarter. Quick pass, it's a screen play out to the outside. Great catch and some open room. Oh, but the ball is out! Fiafia's got it! To the 40, to the 35, and out of bounds! Are you kidding me?
What a punch out! Great awareness, and just punching it from behind the tight end. And then Kava Fiafia barely lets it bounce one time, and then he picks it up. And now Farmington has a chance to win this game.
I have no words for what we are witnessing right now, Trevor, in this fourth quarter.
This is insane. Hold on to the goods, Quentin.
They're gonna measure this in Salt Lake City as an earthquake in Farmington. This booth is rattling.
Oh my goodness.
And not only that, that fumble recovery has put the Phoenix at the Cavemen 34-yard line. They are close to being in field goal territory, and they have a kicker on their side in Jackson Bainan, who just hit a game winner last week in Idaho. Play action pass. Dolly evades. He's got time. But he's wrapped up in the backfield all the way back at the 42-yard line. Great tackle that time by Ty Wilson, the sophomore linebacker.
Dallin Afu is hitting himself right now because he had a chance to get him right there, but Ty Wilson comes in and just cleans up as well. Big time play for American Fork.
Sets up a 2nd and 18, mass substitutions for the Cavemen.
And there's guys scrambling.
Phoenix now have to get back into field goal territory. Wide open receiver at the 30 and down to the 27. A great catch that time by Troy Stevens. Slow to get up, though, after the catch.
Oh, yeah, he's down. I'm hoping it's just a cramp.
Official timeout.
You just hope. But, we're going to need to take a breather.
We'll take one with both of these teams. 24-22 our score with 3:49 to go. Farmington looking to take their first lead of the game and mount a surprising comeback. Stevens able to walk up under his own power, able to pound his chest a couple of times as Farmington's able to recover from a 2nd and 18. Now makes it a 3rd and 6 with the ball at the 30-yard line. Huge play right here for the Phoenix.
Still in field goal range, but you want to be able to get it closer.
It's going to be a wildcat. Fiafia's got it. Now he's going to throw. He's got a man out there. It's Nielsen. Oh, and it's over his head. He was wide open in the end zone. So now that's going to set up a field goal. And this will be another huge one on back-to-back weeks for kicker Jackson Bainan. He hit the game winner in overtime last week.
He went 1 for 2 on field goals last week, but obviously the one being the game winner.
A 47-yarder is blocked. American Fork recovers. And a huge swing for the Cavemen just when they needed it.
When you thought your back was against the wall and you just needed one play to be made, it was made. What a block, what pursuit, what push by that defensive line on special teams. And American Fork still has life and the lead.
So a missed opportunity for the Phoenix. They had Tanner Nielsen open in the end zone to take the lead, but Fiafia overthrows him. So now 3:31 to go, and the Phoenix with only one timeout to try and stop them from draining this clock away.
That is the very key part there, Nate. Only one timeout for Coach Fiafia to use. So running the football and getting yards on those carries is going to be big here for American Fork.
Here's Childs with a handoff. Prince Afu somehow able to gain yardage off of that, and it looks like he gained 4.
Afu takes it out of the 39-yard line, brought down by Cass Taylor.
So if you're Coach Fiafia, when are you using this timeout?
Oh, probably after if you're able to get a stop on third down, I'd probably use it then. Because you don't want American Fork to be draining that play clock down, especially if it's under 2 minutes.
So Nate Childs back in the game. Even though he threw that pick 6 earlier, they're still going with their 2 possessions apiece that they've been going with all season. Here's another handoff. It's Afu to the outside, and he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage. A great stop, and just like you mentioned, there's going to be that timeout. He's going to use it actually before the third down.
Brings up third down.
Which is big because, well, actually, is that Coach Beam calling that time? Oh, no, Farmington called it. But I'll tell you what, Nate, it's not a bad idea either, because then you then kind of give your guys a rest real quick on third down and say, all right, guys, we have to have this play. We have to get this stop in order to put our offense in another position, because they've been doing it all second half, getting them in constant, really good spots to be able to potentially win this game.
So 2 minutes, 40 seconds remaining. So it's a 3rd and 7. Ball on their own 38. Do you think American Fork will try and run this one to get the clock down as much as they can, since the Phoenix don't have any timeouts left, and then they can punt it away and make them force the field? Or do you try and risk it and go for a throw here and get a first down?
I definitely would not try to risk a throw here. But also, I mean, Childs can run, but Capono is a better runner at quarterback. So if I was them, I'd put him in. But Prince Afu's not even in the game right now. They have Madden Jensen in. So maybe they are going to throw it here, and they use him as a protection.
Biggest play of the night for American Fork, a 3rd and 7. They are going to throw. It's a pass out to Dyson Richards. He catches it and gets a first down. What a play by the senior tight end.
Making clutch plays and clutch moments late in games. That's huge for American Fork. Now they can drain this clock all the way down, because Farmington's out of timeouts.
Yeah, apologies, I can't do my math that quickly, but this is going to be, they can basically shut this one down, I believe. Or it's going to be close.
Really close.
So you have to believe it's going to be a run here. Madden Jensen in the backfield. He'll get the counter up the middle for a gain of about 4.
Which is huge on first down, because you get another first down, the game is over for sure. But if I'm Madden Jensen, if I'm Prince Afu, if I'm anybody running the football, I'm holding that ball with 2 hands, because if I'm Farmington, I'm telling all their players. I even saw one coach down there telling them, punch it out, punch it out, punch it out. Do everything you can to get the football back. But if I'm American Fork,
I mean, you really think about needing this?
Yeah, honestly, yes.
Childs under center. They're still going to hand it off. Here's Jensen up the middle. It's going to be a gain of 2. So it'll now be 3rd down.
And that'll take it down to about 40 seconds.
Which means you'd basically have around 10 to 15 if you're able to get the stop.
If you get a turnover, now is the time for Farmington. But all you need is 5 more yards if you're American Fork to steal this win.
Prince Afu in the backfield. One more first down, and this game is over. Childs trying to get the defense to go and get offsides. So they're going to call a timeout as they set up for a massive 3rd down with 35 seconds left. We'll take it with them. We'll be right back with the end of this game on the Rewind Sports Network. Welcome back to Farmington High School, where the Phoenix currently trail by 2. They're on defense. American Fork with a 3rd and 5, 35 seconds left. Trevor, what's the move here if you're the Cavemen?
I'm going to run the ball here, and even if you don't pick up that first down, there is 10-second differential between the play clock and the game clock, which they are going to need it here. And then you're going to call a timeout. Use your last timeout. call it right as the play clock's at 1. Bring out your punt unit, and then just boot it away. And really, you want to punt that out of bounds, because then you can put in your prevent defense.
And they're actually going to start this later. It looks like this game is going to be over.
Okay. Never mind.
Yeah, they start
Game plan out the window.
But what an absolute game we've had up here in Farmington, as American Fork able to escape undefeated and stay 4-0, but the challenge they faced in that fourth quarter. Let's look at it from the Cavemen side. You're undefeated. You had an absolutely stellar first half, but you saw a little bit of a scare there in the second. What do you take out of this game overall?
Really, the fact that, you kind of went away from whatever got you there in that first half. In second half, they really struggled running the football. But credit to those players for American Fork who made clutch plays. Dyson Richards picking up a first down when they needed it. Just other guys out there making plays. Prince Afu. Just being able to make that one play to be able to seal the win. But you've got to credit Farmington. I'm pretty sure the coaches are going to be pleased with what happened tonight, at least for, second half of play. But it's like, you guys should have probably played like that in the first and second quarters, because then it would have probably been a different outcome.
Coming up next for American Fork, it will be Layton on the road, the last of their 3-game road trip. And then we'll go back to Farmington. I mean, you faced an unbelievable deficit, 24-0 at the end of the first half, but especially at the end of that third going into the fourth, an insane comeback. They gave themselves a lot of chances there to come out of here with a win.
Yeah, really, every single opportunity was there for Farmington to take it. Obviously, 2 plays to look at is with Kava on that Wildcat, rolls out and then overthrows Tanner Nilsson by about a few feet. As far as to be, because he was wide open. He'd already beat the cornerback, overthrew him. He's probably going to want that back. And then obviously a blocked field goal attempt, which would have given you a 1-point lead.
We mentioned throughout the broadcast their next game is going to be on the road at Lone Peak. The Knights facing Bishop Gorman on the road tonight. So you have to think that because of their extra focus in Vegas, that could set up an opportunity for the Phoenix to maybe escape with a win next week against another Region 3 opponent. I mean, what do you think about the Farmington's chances, especially next week on the road?
I mean, you end up playing like this second half performance for Farmington. If you can carry that to full 4 quarters down south, chances are good. But also, you're going up against a beast in Lone Peak. They are full of playmakers on both sides of the ball. But American Fork has a lot of weapons on offense as well, and Farmington's defense showed in the second half they can compete.
To wrap up post-game, let's hand out our Tab Bank helmet stickers. We mentioned one there in the fourth quarter, Tanner Nilsson with an absolute stellar grab for the Phoenix, pinning the ball to the defender's back in the back of the end zone. One of the most impressive plays we've seen calling high school football.
Yeah, I believe should be one of the absolute top plays coming out next week on KSLSports.com as some of the top plays that Rewind puts out. And really, I think that deserves a helmet sticker.
And to put it on the other side for American Fork, who do you believe would deserve that Tab Bank helmet sticker for the Cavemen?
I'm going between 2 guys. Prince Afu is the obvious, but Dyson Richards, I think, came up and made some big plays, some big blocks when he needed to at tight end, but also picking up a first down when he needed to, in order to seal that win. I would say I would give Tanner Nilsson a helmet sticker for Farmington, and I'd give one to Dyson Richards for American Fork.
So that will do it for us tonight. American Fork 24, Farmington 22. And just a reminder that this week was very big for all of us here in Utah high school sports, as we lost a great one in Dusty Lister. At the beginning of this broadcast, we mentioned that this would be in honor of him, and we had a moment of silence here. And there's no doubt that throughout this entire Utah community, we're thinking of Dusty's family and the impact that he had on not only the sport, but really on us as people, especially in this profession. Final thoughts on Dusty.
Yeah, no, fought a great fight with cancer. I mean, to be diagnosed after having a stroke, after just calling state championship basketball games, and then to find out it's cancer and that the diagnosis wasn't good, where they were giving him 3 months and he had 18. And, he still went down fighting. But for what he did for, the state of Utah, taking time away from his family, for, shining a spotlight not on him. He shined it on the athletes out there. He shined it on the coaches. He shined it on the programs in every sport: baseball, basketball, swimming. He called anything that really was at a stadium or in a gym. As far as at the high school level, he was there. And he made it about the kids because he wanted to shine a light that a light was not being shined on in this state. And he brought it to where it is now, which is a big-time following. The audience we get each week on the Rewind Sports Network and on KSLSports.com is unmatched. And it all started with Dusty.
For Quentin, for Trevor, and for Dusty, I'm Nate Thatcher. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into this week's edition of the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com.